So our x0 is the value that you use to substitute here. So sa kaninga example, if our x is 1, we will substitute 1 here sa x0 and then minus x bar. And then the difference will be squared. And then less than equal to mean at x0 less than equal to mean hat at x0 plus value of t times the square root of estimator of variance 1 times 1 over n plus x sub 0 minus x bar squared over s of x. So to further understand, use the example. So same example. So our y hat for this example is this one. So let's use y hat as x0 as 1 para sa yun. So what is the value of our y hat? If x0 is 1. Anyone? Anyone has the answer? Okay, so 89.23. So we already have our value for y hat. So to solve for the mean confidence interval for the mean response, again, our formula, mean hat minus value of t, square root of confidence estimator of variance, 1 over n plus x0 minus x bar squared over sxx less than equal to mean at x0 less than equal to mean hat at x0 plus t square root of estimator of variance 1 over n plus x0 minus x bar squared over sxx. So, based sa given dire na natay values. So, our value for mean is 89.23 minus 2.101. At ang t is 2.101 gyapon. Square root of estimator variance is 1.18 times 1 over 20 plus our x0 is 1. Our x bar is 1.296 squared over 0.68088 less than equal to mean at 1.0 less than equal to 89.23 plus 2.101 1.18 1 over 20 plus 1 minus 1.196 squared over 0.608. So we already have our formula. So what is the value for our interval sa left side? 88.2. 88.4855. Other side. Kailan ang other side?
59.9745.
89 point, kailan to? 8745?
9745.
9745. Okay. So, mo na ni ang atong confidence interval for the response. Meaning, if our x is 0, our mean response falls between 88.4855 and 89.9745. Any questions? Wala questions?
Wala rin.
Alright. So kay mao na ta confidence interval for both slope and the y-intercept, and then we already know the confidence interval for the response. So using also our simple regression model, we can also predict new observations. So new observations is a prediction of new observations is an important application of the regression model. So, di ba, our regression model is this one. But we all know na ang kaninga model is just estimates of the value. Kaya ang exact na value for our regression model is y0 equals b0 plus b1x. But since we cannot explicitly say na kani ang values, now we have values for this regression model, mo nang nag-estimates ta. So to get possible values for y0, we will use this regression model. So since we have this regression model, we can predict value for y0 using this confidence interval. So this confidence interval, same ra siya sa ato ang mean response na confidence interval. The only difference is na atay plus 1 dire and dire. And then we are using y hat 0 exact instead of katong mu hat y at x0. Diba? So instead of using this symbol, mag y hat 0 ta kay since y hat 0 na ato gigamit for solving. Same idea, we will still be substituting the value of x0 sa atong regression model to solve for the y hat 0. So aton i-apply. So let's predict the new observation if our x is still 1. x0 is still 1. Our t value is still 2.101. Our x bar is 1.196. This is our regression model. So we already stated in the previous example that y hat, if x is 1, is 89.23. So using our formula, again, our formula is y hat 0 minus t times the square root of estimator of variance times 1 plus 1 over n plus x0 minus x bar squared over xx less than equal to our value of y less than equal to y hat 0 plus b square root of diameter of variance 1 plus 1 over n plus x0 minus x bar squared over sx. So plugging in our values, given nato this one and this one. So our y is 89.23 minus 2.101 square root of 1.18, 1 plus 1 over 20 plus x sub 0 is 1 minus 1.196 squared over 0.68088 less than equal to y less than equal to 89.23. I did it. Sorry. Di ba, di ba? Pasok ko lagi 89.23 plus 2.101 times 1 plus square root of 1.18 times 1 plus 1 over 20 plus 1 minus 1.196 squared over 0.68088. What is the confidence interval for our new observation if S is equal to 1? Sige, bilang ba? 91.5196 for this side. For this side to?
Yes, miss.
91.51.
Sa pikas daw, miss.
Okay, so sa other side ni siya. So, balian na.
Oh, yes, miss.
Okay. Then, ang pika side, pila man ang diri?
86.8294.
86.8294. So, therefore, if ang atong x0, kani, ang value sa atong y falls between 86.8294 and 91.5196. So, exact value sa ato ang y. Kagets ra? Any questions? Wala question?
Wala.
Wala questions. So therefore, confidence interval is just the range of values where our exact values for our slope and intercept, mean, and our new observation falls. So kani, atong confidence interval kay just possible numbers as to where the exact value falls. Okay, since in our regression model, we are just using assumptions man. Assumptions are estimates. So confidence interval gives us a range of possible exact values for our regression. So moving on, let's try solving for this problem, the parental agency. So, ang car rental agency is also previously used na ito nga example sa other topics. So, let's solve for the confidence interval for the slope. So, slope is p hat 1 minus t square root of estimator of variance over sxx less than equal to p1 less than equal to p hat 1 plus t square root of estimator of variance less xx. So we have the confidence interval of 95%. So let's go to our table. So for this problem, our n is 6. N is 6. So to solve for the degree of freedom, n minus 2, 6 minus 2, so equals 4. Our degree of freedom that we will be using is 4. So arita sa 4, it's a so our degree of freedom is 4. Our confidence interval is 95%. Our value is then 2.776 for t. So, balik na sa ato ang PowerPoint. So, confidence interval p 2.776. So, our formula would be at 1 again is 1. The variance is less than equal to 1. We have 1 t meter of variance as x. So our b hat 1 is 0.106. 0.61 minus 2.776. Our estimated variance 0.1999 over SXX is kani 1916.853. That equal to B1 less than equal to 0.1061 plus 2.776. Square root of 0.1999 over 1916.853. What is the confidence interval for the slope? Anyone? .0778. Same answers?
Same ra, Miss.
Okay. So, ang other end, pag interval,
0.1344.
0.1344. So therefore, our value for B1 falls between 0.0778 and 0.1344. Sige. Next, let's solve for the value for the confidence interval of the intercept. So the intercept is B hat 0 minus D times the square root of estimator of variance times 1 over n plus x bar over sxx x bar squared less than equal to b0 less than equal to b hat 0 plus d square root of estimator of variance 1 over n plus x bar squared over sxx. So we have values now of x bar, sxx, b hat 0, our t, our n is 6. So let's plug in the values. 0.396 minus 2.101 square root of 0.1999 times 1 over 6 plus x bar is 153.8 squared over 1916.853 less than equal to b0 less than equal to 0.396 plus 2.776 initially. Sorry. Our value of t is 2.776. Square root of 0.1999 times 1 over 6 plus 153.8 squared over 1916.853. Okay, what is the value for our confidence interval?
Ano na ang zero, Miss?
What's ito? Yung value?
Negative 3.9934.
Okay. Negative 3.9934 less than equal to b0 less than equal to pilang other side. Sige. Gina ay answer sa 4.7854. Same answers?
Yes, ma'am.
Different answer. So therefore, our value for B0, the exact value for B0, falls between 3.99 to negative 3.9934 and 4.7854. So we already have the confidence interval for the slope and the intercept. Let's then solve for the confidence interval for the mean response. So our mean response, 0.776. So on our mean response, let's use x0 as 70. So this is our regression model. Y hat equals 0.396 plus 0.1061 times 70. What is the value for our y hat?
$7.823.
Okay, 7.823. So again, our y hat is just equal to our mean hat at x0. So our mean response formula, so mean hat y at x0 minus t times square root of estimator of variance 1 over n plus x0 minus x bar squared over sxx less than equal to mean response at x0 less than equal to mean hat y at x0 plus t square root of estimator of variance 1 over n plus x of 0 x bar squared over sxx. So na natin values 7.823 minus 2.776 square root of estimator of variance 0.1999 1 over 6 plus our x0 is 70 minus x bar is 153.8 squared over 1916.853 then equal to our mean at 70 since our x0 is 70 then equal to 7.823 plus 2.776 square root of 0.1999 1 over 6 plus 70 minus 153.8 squared over 1916.853. What is our confidence interval for the mean response? Sige, anyone?
5.3940, Miss.
5.3940 or 3.
40.
Okay. Less than equal to our mean at x at 70, less than equal to the other side.
Ten point 2520.
10.2528.
20 ra, Miss.
20 ra. So therefore, our mean, if x is 70, falls between 5.3940 and 10.2520. So this is our confidence interval for our mean when x is 70. Okay. So we already have our confidence intervals for slopes, for the intercept, and for the response. What's next is predicting the new observation. So let's predict the new observation. So our formula for the prediction interval is y hat minus t square root of limiter of variance 1 plus 1 over n plus x0 minus x bar squared over sxx less than equal to y0 less than equal to y hat 0 answer ako? Or ako, kawa ka doon din yun?
Matungog na ka, miss.
Okay. Sige. So,
Wala na po yung tingog, miss.
hello? One? Hello? Hello? Sige, wait. Hello? Padungod ako?
Yes, miss.
Okay, so, unsa naman atong confidence interval for our new observation? Okay, si mo mag-answer tanan sa answer ni Taneo.
Yes, miss.
5.0952 less than equal to y0 less than equal to 10.5508. So therefore, if our x is 0, our y, the value of our y falls between 50592 and 10.5508. So sa ato ang car rental agency, if our x is 0, di ba, x is the number of cars, and then y is the income. So if our number of cars is 70, the income for the car rental agency falls between 5.0952 and 10.5508. So any questions? Wala questions? Wala? Okay, let's proceed. Proceed. So in our regression model, since we already we only do assumptions, so we assume that the errors are uncorrelated, the errors are normally distributed, and the order of the model is correct. So if we just do assumptions or estimations, so there's still room for errors. So since mag-estimate raman ta and then nag-assume ra ta, dili ta ka explicitly say nga mao na ang value for our slope or our intercept and other parameters. So we will then do residual analysis. So residuals or the errors in the model. So errors kay we account for errors kay we are not using exact values, we only use estimates. So to solve for the residuals, we will use E minus value of y, E equals y minus value of the y hat. So nakasolve ta ani previously when we were solving for the error sum of squares. So again, our error sum of squares was equals the summation of y minus y hat squared. So ang ato ang pag-solve ato sa y hat katong same gyapon mag-substitute ta sa value of x and then gi-substitute nato sa value sa y for that x. So for example, if our x is 1, 2, 3, our y is also 1, 2, 3, our y hat is equal to 1 plus 2x. So we substitute the value of x dire. So mahimo tang 1 plus 2 times 1. So y hat equals 3. So our y hat is 3. I-substitute na to sa y kani. So our y hat, our value for E or the residual is equal to negative 2. Okay, 1 minus 3, negative 2. So that is how you solve for the residual. So once we solve for the residuals, all the residuals in our data, we will then do the residual plot. So our residual plot looks like this. Ideally, it looks like this. This is our regression with respect to either x or y axis or x or y variables. So these are the residuals, kaning mga points. So this is a residual plot looks like. If ingon ani siya og now, meaning our regression model is too accurate. So if our residual falls very far from our residual plot, so for example, naa siya dinhi and that this is our whole residual plot, naa siya dinhi or naa siya dinhi. If it's very far from our average or our residual plot, these points are called the outliers. Any questions? So outliers are therefore residuals that are not typical, observations that are not typical. So not typical in a sense nga basig pag-get nato sa kanang observation, pag-obtain nato sa data na ay other factors that are not considered, maong na-skewed ang ato ang data. So if our residual plot looks like this one, ang ato ang regression model is inadequate, meaning wrong ang ato ang regression model. Kaya dapat ang ato ang regression or residual analysis or residual plot kay something like that one. But any other form of our residual plot means that our regression model is inadequate or inaccurate. So how do we identify the adequacy of our regression model. We will use the coefficient of determination. So we can say that our regression model is adequate or accurate using the coefficient of determination. So to solve for the coefficient of determination, we will use r squared is equals SSR over SST, or 1 minus SSE over SST. So we have already established that SSE is the error sum of squares. We have already established that SSE is error sum of squares. So SSR, we will then identify SSR as the regression sum of squares. And then SST is the total sum of squares. So again, SSE, error sum of squares, SSR is the regression sum of squares, and SST is the total sum of squares. So to solve for the total sum of squares, we will just add SSR and SSE to get SST. So to solve for SSE, again, is the summation of y minus y hat squared. Therefore, this equation is our SSR. So to solve for SSR, we will use y hat minus y bar squared. So if our data looks like this, x equals 1, 2, 3, y equals 1, 2, 3, and then our y hat equals 1 plus 2x. So to solve for this one, so our y bar is just the summation of y divided by n. So sa ato ang y bar, so 1 plus 2 plus 3 is 6. Divided by 3, our y bar is 2. So using this formula, so our y hat, ato gihapon siyang substitutan sa every value of x. So ato ang y hat will become, if our x is 1, our y hat is 3. And then, ato i-continue sa other data. So, we already have our value for y hat. We already have our value for y bar. So, for our y hat, for every data, atong minusan sa y bar. So, sa kani, atong y hat is 3. When x equals 1, minus our y bar is 2, to square. And then if x equals 2, atong y bar is 5. Atong y hat is 5. Kaya ito i-substitute ang 2 dire. So 2 times 2 plus 1, 5. And then our y bar is still 2. Ato na siyang square. And then ang total ana will be the value for the regression sum of squares. So what does the coefficient of determination imply? So if our coefficient of determination approaches 1, so if ang if our correlation of coefficient katong r nga gamay, if ingon nito siya nga 0, negative 1, and positive 1, and then the closer it is to positive 1, positive siya, positive correlationship. strong positive. Pero if negative 1, strong negative. In our coefficient of determination, the closer it is to positive 1, correlation of coefficient cannot yield negative values ha. So 0 to 1 ra gina siya. So the closer it is to 1, the more accurate your regression model is. So if our example ato ang example 0.982 ang ato ang coefficient of determination, very close to 1, meaning our regression model is accurate in predicting or in getting the exact values for our slope, for our intercept, for our new observations, etc. Any questions? Questions? Wala? So to visualize more, let's use the oxygen purity to solve for our R, or the coefficient of determination. So SSR over SST. You can solve this on your own lang ang kaning SSR nato. I believe you have already solved for the SSE before to solve for SST. So I will just give you the values for today and then solve on your own when you do the review. So SSR using the oxygen purity problem is 152.1275. SST is 173.3773. So what is the value for the coefficient of determination? Any question? Any answer the I? Sorry. Anyone has the value? So 0.8774. So our coefficient of determination is 0.8774. Therefore, our regression model is 87.74% accurate in predictions, in making predictions. So therefore, therefore our regression model for the oxygen purity problem is good in is adequate already. So any questions? Wala na? So that would be all. What are my questions for the topic today? Lara, I will proceed with the announcements or reminders for next meeting. No questions? Going once, going twice?
Miss, pwede yun naman sa recorded, miss.
Sa?
Recorded.
Okay, I will upload the recording gapon sa Google Drive
Thank you, miss.
later. Anything else? Wala na. So, your assignment is already posted. I believe you have already accessed the assignment in Canvas last week. So deadline for the assignment is still on October 18. So let me just check if ako ba ning na-change. Wait sa ha. Yes, assignment deadline is October 18. And then for the rest of the day, for the rest of the meeting, you will work on a seat work. I will make the seat work. Ha. Okay, so seat work number 1 is already up in Canvas. So you can deadline for the seat work is tomorrow. This is just a short seat work. So ako ipakita niyang seat work. Wait sa ha. Wait lang. Short seat work naman sad ni siya. So let me just assignments work. So mao ni ang seat work number 1. So just 3 problems. Yes, I also provided the table for your reference. So submit this one tomorrow, end of day tomorrow. And then assignment is October 18. Sa katong kaning topic. So you already have 2 weeks for that one. Although karon natin nag-discuss. So for next meeting, first na to nga face-to-face class. So for next meeting, I've already updated the seat work, the schedule. So due date for your seat work is October 13. Due date for your assignment is October 18. Next week, I will be giving an exam on October 19. Coverage is simple linear regression. So the simple linear regression is from empirical models until the adequacy of the regression model. Any questions? So again, seat work deadline tomorrow, assignment deadline October 18. On October 19, we will just have an exam. Any questions? If none, I'll give you the rest of the time to work on your seat work. If you don't have any question, and then I will dismiss you na. So, wala questions?
Excuse me, Miss.
Yes.
Kanang regarding sa formulas, Miss, ba during face-to-face nga exam, pwede namin mag-bring og index card, Miss, kana dito ang formulas?
I will make the announcement regarding the index card by Friday if mag-allow ko sa formulas or not.
Okay, Miss, thank you.
Excuse me, miss.
Yes.
Sa seat work, miss ba? Dito sa answer.
Pwede ra.
Sige, thank you.
Any other questions? You can already access the seat work in Canvas, also the assignment. So, wala na questions. If none, let's check the attendance again for today, and then I will mag-dismiss na after. You turn on your cameras na for attendance. Get 3 to 1. Next group 3 to 1. Okay, if wala na questions, I will see you all next week for the exam. Coverage again is from the start of the semester until today. I'll see you all here in school next week. Bye, everyone.
Thank you,
Bye,
Miss.
Miss. Thank
Bye, Miss.
you.